All right, once you have your design selected, you will then know the size embroidery hoop that you will need to use. So the hoop I'm using today is our medium size hoop. This one will make a design somewhere between 7 inches by 5 inches. All right, so the idea behind the stabilizer is to have a background material that's going to keep the embroidery machine stitches from pulling your fabric up and making tight little scrunches with it. It won't wad it up like that, but it will pucker if you don't have it adequately stabilized. The library has 3 different stabilizers that you can choose from. 2 of them are tearaway. This means that this material is tearable, that you can tear it off the back of your design instead of as opposed to using the cutaway where you would have to cut the stabilizer off of your design and it would still leave a little bit of the stabilizer behind because you can't get all the way right up next to the embroidery because there's a chance you could cut stitches if you get too close. So for today, I'm going to be using the Perfect Stick tearaway. So this one has an adhesive on it and it'll stick to my fabric. This one is a heat and stay tearaway, which means you would use the iron to iron it onto the back of your item to get it ready to stabilize. This one is a fusible cutaway. You would iron it onto the back of your item and then you would peel off the excess after you embroider and you would trim it off, but it would still leave, like I said, that little bit around your embroidery. So if you're doing this on a shirt or that somebody's gonna wear, you're gonna wanna use the tearaway. That way there's less bulk there and it won't itch whoever's wearing the item. All right, once you have your stabilizer chosen, you're going to roll it out just a little bit. And the hoop that you're using, you're gonna take that inner hoop and lay it on top. Now for this one, the stabilizer is wide enough that I can turn it sideways and it will fit just right. So you want a little excess on all the sides around the hoop. So I'm gonna take the ruler and I'm gonna measure how wide I need to make that. So it's 9 inches. So you can use a pencil to mark your place on the stabilizer. And then you can use the ruler to line it up and draw a line. So once you have your line drawn, you can take the scissors and cut your stabilizer for your piece. All right, once you have that done, you're going to peel off the back layer of the stabilizer. All right, just like that. It comes apart. Once you have pulled the back side off of the stabilizer, you're gonna lay sticky side up your stabilizer on the table. So you want that sticky side facing up. And then you're gonna take your item face up and lay it as best you can centered on your stabilizer. So you can fold your item and make a little crease where the middle is so you know you get it centered in the middle at the top. I'm gonna do it just like that. And then you're gonna rub your item to get rid of the creases and wrinkles, just like this. As many wrinkles and creases that you can get rid of, the better off your embroidery will be. You want it as smooth as possible. I probably should have ironed this before I began, but it's gonna be okay. So on this one, as you can see, I've got a little extra there. Don't worry about it, it's not gonna hurt anything. So to begin hooping your item, you're gonna remove the inside from the outer hoop. And you place that outer hoop up under your item to be embroidered. And I'm just kind of feeling around to make sure it's mostly centered as best as possible right now. So on your actual hoop, you're going to notice that there are notches at the middle of each side. This is to help guide you in lining up your item. So I am kind of just eyeballing the center of the item I want to embroider. So if you get a little resistance in pushing down the inner hoop, you can loosen the outer hoop there. So this one's just a tad bit loose. So once I have my item in there, and as you can see, it's kind of puckered over here. So I'm going to pull up on my stabilizer in this side of my item to make sure my fabric is taut. You want your fabric as taut as possible, kind of like a little drum. And I'm going to tighten that outer spring a little bit just so it's nice and snug and it's not going to pull my fabric loose while we're embroidering.